The quiet storm behind the eyes of an INFJ. Have you ever been told that you seem calm, composed, and even serene, but deep down, you're carrying an ocean of emotions, thoughts, and visions that no one ever sees? If so, there's a good chance you're an INFJ. Welcome to a journey that's going to expose and validate what lies behind the quiet storm in your eyes. This video is for the INFJ who often feels invisible in their intensity, misunderstood in their silence, and exhausted by their inner storms. Today, we're diving into the depths of your psyche to unpack the defining aspects of the quiet storm you carry. Each point will explore what it means and, more importantly, how to use it as a source of quiet power rather than hidden suffering. So sit back. Let this be your mirror, your safe space, and your reminder that you are not alone. 1. The calm exterior versus the roaring inner monologue. To the outside world, INFJs are the epitome of serenity, quiet eyes, soft voice, a composed demeanor that often calms others. But behind the curtain lies a wild, relentless world. Your thoughts aren't just thoughts, they're layered, multiversal tapestries. You're analyzing conversations in real time, predicting ripple effects from minor actions, deciphering body language, and emotionally processing other people's energy, all while appearing unbothered. It's not overthinking, it's multidimensional processing. While someone talks about weekend plans, you're internally mapping the psychological roots behind their tone or how their mood is subtly affecting the group dynamic. Add to that your own existential musings, spiritual questions, and emotional puzzles. It's no wonder you're exhausted after a seemingly calm day. This internal cyclone is invisible to others, which breeds a deep ache for someone to just get it. But how do you explain a thunderstorm in your soul to people who only feel drizzles? Journaling isn't optional, it's survival. Write what you think, feel, fear, hope, even if it makes no sense. Clarity comes later. Let trusted people into your mind slowly. Share your perceptions, not for validation, but for connection. Practice saying aloud, "I'm thinking about a lot right now," as a gentle bridge between your world and theirs. 2. The unshakable intuition that can't be turned off. You don't guess, you know. Long before others notice, your intuition whispers the truth. You sense fake smiles, lingering shadows behind compliments, or when someone's soul is breaking even as they laugh. You can't explain how, you just feel it. And when events eventually unfold just as you predicted, you're left with a haunting mix of vindication and sadness. But this heightened sensitivity means you're a constant antenna. Even in silence, you pick up everything, shifts in tone, suppressed emotions, and unsaid resentments. The world becomes loud in ways no one else hears. It's draining. You carry the emotional noise of the room like background static, always buzzing, never off. Learn energetic hygiene. Visualization techniques like imagining a protective light around you help filter what you absorb. Practice mental boundaries. Remind yourself, just because I sense it doesn't mean I must fix it. Explore grounding rituals, like walking barefoot on grass, deep breathing, or even holding crystals, to root you in your energy, not everyone else's. 3. The battle between compassion and burnout. Your empathy is a superpower, but even superpowers have limits. You're the sanctuary others run to, the one who listens without judgment, who understands the things left unsaid. And you want to help. But when your emotional output constantly exceeds your intake, you begin to run on fumes. You show up in people's storms, but no one notices when you're drowning in your own. That silent realization, that the same emotional care you offer isn't always returned, cuts deep. You wonder if you're being used, or if your kindness is just invisible. Eventually, your body and spirit revolt. You feel exhausted, irritable, even numb. And then comes the guilt, for wanting distance, for saying no, for needing space. Use the self-check method. Before helping, ask, do I have the emotional bandwidth for this right now? Practice compassion with boundaries. You can care without becoming a container. Block out recovery days, where you don't engage, explain, or rescue, just exist. 4. The constant search for meaning in a surface-level world. You're not here to coast. You're wired for meaning, transformation, and truth. But the world often seems allergic to depth. You find yourself stuck in small talk prisons, yearning to break out with soul-bearing questions. You want to ask, what breaks your heart? Or, when did you stop believing in yourself? But you bite your tongue because experience has taught you that many people fear depth. The result? You feel stranded. Surrounded by people, yet emotionally alone. You nod along to meaningless chatter, all the while dreaming of conversations that touch the divine. Seek out intuitive spaces, book clubs, deep podcasts, creative forums, or spiritual circles, where meaningful dialogue is the norm. Be the one to break the cycle. Ask one deeper question in a surface-level conversation. You'll be surprised who responds. Remind yourself, even one soul-deep connection is enough to reignite your inner fire. 5. The paradox of wanting to be seen, yet needing to hide. You dream of someone who can see through you, to your dreams, your depth, your pain. But the moment someone gets too close, you panic. Vulnerability feels like stepping onto a stage, naked under a spotlight. So instead, you shift into observer mode. You listen, guide, ask questions, but deflect your own truth. Afterward, you feel both relieved and hurt. Relieved that you stayed protected. Hurt that you stayed hidden. You crave intimacy, but your fear of being misunderstood, or worse, dismissed, keeps you in the shadows. Redefine vulnerability. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Start with tiny truths. I've felt that too, or that reminds me of something personal. Mirror your own desire. If you want others to see you, offer them a glimpse. Track how you feel after sharing something real. You'll start to notice that being seen can feel safe, even liberating. 6. The creative tempest that demands expression. Your inner world is a vivid mosaic. Images, symbols, ideas, and dreams collide like fireworks behind your eyes. But life's noise, errands, jobs, obligations, drowns the call of your muse. So the ideas pile up, unexpressed, until your soul starts to ache. That ache isn't boredom, it's the grief of unshared beauty. Creativity for you isn't a luxury. It's medicine. It's a mirror. It's where your truest voice lives. And when you ignore it, you don't just lose time, you lose yourself. Break the perfection curse. You don't need a novel, you need a notebook. You don't need a gallery, you need 5 minutes with a paintbrush. Build creative rituals into everyday life. Music in the morning. Free writing before bed. Art as devotion. Remind yourself, your creativity is not for performance, it's for alignment. 7. The deep emotional reservoir that few understand. You feel things so deeply. Even the emotions of others. But when you express it, people often say, you're too sensitive. A movie scene devastates you for days. A stranger's sadness lingers in your chest. You cry in solitude because you don't want to be judged. You wonder if something's wrong with you. Why do others move on so easily while you're still grieving the world? Reframe sensitivity as a strength. Your emotions are data, use them in your writing, your art, your empathy. Find emotionally intelligent communities that celebrate depth. INFJ, you are not weak. You are not broken. You are a quiet storm, a force of nature that moves beneath the surface, shaping the world in invisible ways. The world may not always understand your depth, but it needs it more than ever. Embrace your inner storm. Let it guide your purpose, shape your art, and deepen your relationships. You don't have to hide it anymore. The world is finally ready for your quiet revolution. If this resonated with you, drop a comment below and share your story. You're not alone. You're part of a powerful, rare tribe. And we see you. Subscribe for more deep dive videos tailored just for INFJs. And remember, your quiet storm is your superpower. Stay soulful, INFJ.